Hey everybody, I'm Tyler Albrecht with Keaty Real Estate, and we're so happy to have Miss Carlee Alm-Labar, candidate for Mayor-President, here with us today. Carlee, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, ma'am. So we're going to jump right into it. We got some questions for you, and we're excited to hear your answers.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know Election Day is quickly approaching. We want to know, what is a day like for you on the campaign trail?
Well, it's really varied. So I usually have a couple of meetings with organizations or businesses, companies that, round table, just want to hear my platform, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we're still at the stage where we're trying to raise a lot of money. So of course, there's meetings with potential donors, often speaking engagements, often going out to one of the smaller municipalities and talking to a group there. So really just kind of getting around the parish as much as possible.
Excellent. So your history, usually you're behind the scenes for the last 20 years or so.
Yeah.
What's it like running your own campaign now and being in the limelight, being in the public eye, and being that person that's in front of everyone?
Well, it's really exciting because, I get to go around the community and get to talk to a lot of folks who all care about the future of this parish. Mm-hmm. And so that part, I love the behind the scenes work, but also, when you're in a position like this where you're running for an office like mayor-president, people really open up to you. They share with you their vision and what they want to see for the future of the community. So it's a very exciting and humbling experience. And, it's energizing really, because you hear a lot of the bad stuff about a campaign, so to speak.
Always.
Nobody tells you how awesome people are too. So that part's been really great.
Squeaky wheel gets the grease usually, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So what are some of the pillars that you're running on for this campaign?
Early on, we picked the slogan, vision, leadership, results, and I think that really speaks to what I can bring to the job. I have always been a strategic thinker and somebody who's able to think long term and consider, Lafayette's position in the global economy and in the local economy and how we strengthen it. And then leadership, we spoke about that briefly a moment ago, and I've accepted over the years a lot of different leadership roles, and I know how to motivate groups of people towards a common goal. And, I'm certainly thrilled and excited to potentially do that as mayor-president. And then results. My career over the last 20 years, I have a track record of getting things done, both small and large projects, working with people from across the community. So I think bringing those three things together is really what Lafayette Parish needs. Okay.
So Carlee, you're running as a no party independent, correct?
Right.
Usually people pick one side or the other, left or right. Why have you decided to run your campaign this way?
Well, I've been no party for a long time. So it was really a question of, is who I am the right thing or person to bring Lafayette together? And I really believe that it is. I think if you think about the local challenges that we have, some of the economic struggles that we've had as a community over the last few years, as well as obviously our drainage, our stormwater management concerns, those don't have traditional party solutions. There's not a Republican way to fix drainage. There's not a Democratic way to fix our economy locally. And so, really trying to bring people together, that's what I've done over the history of my career, is figure out ways that people on different sides of issues can come together, regardless of their political affiliations or backgrounds, to solve Lafayette's problems. So I want this campaign to be about the future of Lafayette, and so no party and bringing people together, I thought spoke best to that.
Unite, not divide, bring them together.
Yes, exactly.
You have a strong push for downtown development. Can you explain how the growth of downtown Lafayette will positively affect the rest of Acadiana?
I'm glad that you asked that question, because a lot of people often are like, oh, downtown is a special interest group. And I think if you take a step back and look at the most successful regions of our country over the last 20 and 30 years, you will find a strong downtown at the heart of all of them. And if we are going to be competitive as a community, both a parish and as a region, we need a strong downtown to compete. We need a strong downtown to help bring young people here, to help attract businesses. And so downtown isn't competing against the rest of the parish. It's an asset within our parish, just like our farming can be an asset within our parish, or the oil industry is an asset within our parish. It's just one of many things that we need to highlight to help grow our local economy.
And we talk a lot about kind of connecting the city and connecting the different assets that we have as a city, with the horse farm coming along soon. UL's athletics doing well.
Yes.
We talked about connecting kind of horse farm, UL, downtown, having a good core.
Right.
How can we grow that?
I think it's really about, taking advantage, like you were saying, of the assets that we have when the horse farm comes online in a few months, looking at the UL's athletic campus and ways that we can partner with that, and then ultimately downtown and the oil center. When you start to put those pieces together, all of a sudden you have a really strong center of Lafayette, which can benefit the whole parish.
Excellent. So I'm a resident of Freetown. I love downtown and Freetown, so I have a special place in my heart for it.
Yeah.
During your campaign, you've talked about maybe a development on the water on the other side of Freetown.
Yeah.
Can you tell us kind of what that might look like if it could make it happen?
I think there's been a lot of interest. There's a phrase that I've heard over the years that Lafayette as a community in some ways has turned our backs on the river. If you think there's a lot of backyards that front the Vermilion River.
Right.
But we do have around the Vermilionville area and Hyman Park area, we have some public frontage along the river as well as some private property. And so, are we leveraging our river to the extent that we could? And really that part of the river isn't that far from other assets in our community. So certainly looking at developing a couple of places along the river might be something that would be really great to move our economy forward as well.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so say you make it through this campaign, which I know is a gauntlet, and you're working very long days.
Yes.
And say you win.
Yeah.
What would you do in your first 90 days when you get in office?
Sure. Well, I think number one, that one of the most important things I can do before that 90-day clock starts is use the time after the election to build the best leadership team possible. LCG, as we've talked about, is an organization of about 2,000 people. And in order to really help all of the employees become working on behalf of all of the citizens, you have to have a great leadership team in place. From there, come January, I think one of the most important things in the first 90 days is ensuring the success and the smooth transition, into the new form of government, the split council system that takes effect in January. And so the first 90 days will be about getting that new system of government on the right foot, working with the parish council and the city council and whoever their chairs are, as well as my leadership team that I talked about, to ensure that our transition into a new form of government is as smooth as possible.
And do you think your experience over the past 20 years is going to help you do that?
Absolutely. I think that, there have been auditors out there that have said Lafayette's government is one of the most complex in the state between LUS having our own utility system, as well as LUS fiber, as well as the form of consolidation that we have. It's a very difficult government to get your head around. So certainly the 8+ years that I spent in government are a major advantage to getting the administration off on the right foot.
Definitely. So not everyone is going to watch this entire interview.
Right.
So in a time
Although
of
not because of the interviewee, I'm sure.
Interviewer. I appreciate that. But people have short attention spans, right? They're going to watch snippets of video. Can you give us like a 30-second elevator pitch of why someone living in Lafayette or the surrounding areas should vote for you?
Absolutely. 3 reasons. Number 1, I bring a passion to my work and a strong work ethic that anyone that's ever worked with me knows. I care so much about local issues, about Lafayette, about making this a better community. Secondly, I have the educational background with a master's in public administration. I know how government works. And then finally, I have the actual experience both on the local level, in government, and in the private sector to put those pieces together to help create a great community. And ultimately, again, because I want to bring Lafayette together, I think the no party is an advantage as well, where we have challenges like drainage in our economy that we need to work together on solutions. And so my goal is to help bring Lafayette together around our most urgent and pressing needs.
Wonderful. And so you touched on drainage a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you about drainage. Do you think it's a Lafayette solution, or are we going to have some kind of regional solution to make sure that the catastrophic flooding we've seen in the past doesn't happen again?
We absolutely have to be working regionally. We have to be really working starting at the national level and making sure we're communicating with federal officials about what we need. But then also everyone says water doesn't know political boundaries. And so water doesn't understand the lines around Lafayette Parish. So we have to be coordinating as a watershed, because those are the lines that the water does understand.
Right.
So we're going to have to work even more as a region, coordinating with other parishes and making sure that we're making decisions that not only benefit our residents, but that the folks in other parishes are making decisions that are complementary and that we're helping the region overall manage its water.
Agreed. We're all in it together.
Yep.
Well, Carlee, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching this video. And remember, it's our great American privilege and duty to vote. So make sure on October 12th you exercise that right. I'm Tyler Albrecht with Keaty Real Estate, and thank you for watching.